I'm like, man, you know, and the pattern is it's always against us. You know, yes. Whites don't worry about Kanye. Like you said, they all for him. He's always against us.
All right, welcome to Get On Code, the Fly Guy Show, which is a series of melanated conversations focused on empowerment, health, wealth, and knowledge of self.
People think in binary choices because they are conditioned to.
And on the wall was a picture of a wolf and a lion. I think the wolf was the Democratic Party, the lion was the Republicans.
But the drug trade and all these illegal stuff that people do, that's still economics. It's just that they couldn't do it in the traditional system.
We're talking about melanated wealth.
So we can build wealth, but we just, for some reason, don't seem to be able to transfer it.
You had a great experience. Fine. That means nothing.
What were you told as a child about education? You had to be how many times better?
Every impression without an expression becomes depression.
It is my big brother from another mother, the man 100 grand, Seiko Varner. Peace and love, brother. How are you?
Peace to the family. Peace to the master students. Peace and blessings to the code keepers. Peace and blessings to everybody checking in. We're going to have an interesting conversation. Part two. We're back.
Thank you so much, Seiko from the Get On Code and all the code keepers. Last but not least, just want to put some respect on his name as well. Well, with that said, brother, I wanted to play a clip for you because a lot has happened since our last video. I don't think it makes a big difference in terms of whatever our opinions were. Actually, it kind of changed my opinion since a lot of the stuff I've seen. But I wanted to see if I can play a video for you, if that's okay.
Hey, let's do it, man, because things have changed. You know, Kanye got, JP Morgan Chase, they exited Kanye. You know, he dropped some quote unquote anti-Semitic remarks. It's an interesting time to be Mr. West. And he was on Drink Champs again, and on Drink Champs Part 3, he stated that he might be running in 2024. Not surprised.
Okay, I did hear something about this, but I'm gonna keep it 5 million. I forgot. I definitely forgot. I heard it went in one ear, went out the other one. Candace Owens claims JP Morgan cuts ties with Kanye West amid anti-Semitic comments.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Kanye West, now known as Ye, is one of the best-selling musical artists in the world. He's also celebrated as a very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashians. But it's West's latest incarnation as a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform. Shock, horror, rage. There is no excuse for this, thundered the New York Times. West is legitimizing extremism, shrieked Rolling Stone, etc., etc. What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the T-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say. But the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill, too crazy to take seriously. Look away, ignore him. He's a mental patient or something to see. But is West crazy? You can judge for yourself as you watch what we're about to show you. He has his own ideas, we can say that. Creative people tend to. That's why they're artists, not actuaries. His freeform social media posts give the impression of a man channeling his rawest emotions right onto Instagram. The effect can be jarring, and it's often used as ammunition against him in the battle for influence over the minds of America's young people. And that battle is intense. But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes. But again, you can judge for yourself. Here it is. So you just came from Paris Fashion Week. You just landed. The lanyard's still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that? It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound. Why is that? And then you designed that. Yes. Why? What does that mean? It just represents life. I'm pro-life. Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And agree? I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more Black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. That 50% of Black death in America is abortion.
I wanted to stop right there, good brother. The biggest following for this platform is in New York. I think the second biggest following demographic is in Atlanta, but definitely number one is New York.
I salute to New York, and definitely one love to all my Brooklynites. Brooklyn is a blood type. BK all day. Had to do it, man. I had to do it. I'm shamelessly from Brooklyn, New York, originally.
Shout out to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, stand up. Hey, but he said that there are more babies in New York being aborted than being born. That clip, I don't know if anybody caught what he said or not. I know the audio wasn't crisp like it should be, but he said, and I quote, there are more babies being, I'm pro-life is what he said, because he had an ultrasound on his lanyard. And he said there are more babies being aborted in New York than being born in terms of Black babies, so-called Black babies.
Can we fact check that? I saw a commercial that stated something similar. But I haven't fact checked that. I really haven't.
Are there more babies being aborted in New York than being born? Question mark. YouTube. There are more Black babies being aborted than born in NYC. That's not legitimate. That was as of October 6th, 10 days ago. Congress.gov, the effects of abortion on the Black community. Black women have the highest abortion ratio in the country, with 474 abortions per 1,000 live births. Well, okay. So I'm going to say, based off Congress.gov, which I consider a legitimate source.
Okay. So we can validate that there's some truth to his position.
There's some truth to his position. Out of every 1,000 babies, less than 500, because he said more than half, which is not. That's not true, Kanye. But it is close to the truth, and that's the disturbing part for me.
Yeah, close to the truth. You know, brother Zumbi tapped in and just sent me a text saying that somebody gave Kanye a script.
Right.
And I really do believe that some of the things he stated were scripted. But this is kind of interesting because this goes to one of the challenges. And once again, I'm not a supporter of Black Lives Matter, the national group. You know, I do like some of the things that Black Lives Matter in the general area. Like I'm hearing 757, 2 up, 2 down VA. 757 has done some interesting stuff that I was like, okay, that was cool. But the BLM group in general, the national group, not necessarily big supporter of. But one thing that people do is they say there are more, Black babies being aborted. Did their Black Lives Matter? And I think it's intriguing because they're doing the new conservative anti-Black strategy. And that is they will take a concept or a phrase, recodify it, and then rally against it. So they're going to take a phrase, they're going to misuse it, and then they're going to place all their arguments against the misused version, right? Because Black Lives Matter, that organization, was not an anti-abortion or pro-abortion organization. Black Lives Matter, the organization, was not a pro-violence in the community or anti-violence in the community organization. They focused on the overreach of policing and the promotion of LGBTQIA plus leadership to address the over policing in the community. And they've been always open about that. Like Candace Owens, our Queen Candace, as I call her, Queen Candace just dropped a new documentary. And in the documentary, she said things that we've already known, that you've already talked about on this channel, that I've talked about on my channel. We know that they're not necessarily for us. They have their own agenda, and they've been forward with that the entire time. But the argument is these black babies are being aborted. So black lives don't matter. And it's like saying you can go to Wendy's and you can get toilet paper. They have a whole slew of toilet paper in the back of Wendy's, but they don't sell toilet paper to the consumers. They have it. They have the ability to do it, but it's not their mode of business. It's not their focus. And with BLM, the focus has never been abortion or anti-abortion. Their focus has never been violence in the community or reducing violence in the community. And I think that when people like good Kanye bring that point up, they're saying that because they're following that conservative strategy. And the person who kind of revealed that conservative strategy was Christopher Rufo. You can look his name up, Christopher Rufo, Ruffo. He created the backlash against CRT. Christopher Rufo. As a matter of fact, when I hear CRT, I think about the Christopher Rufo technique. He created the strategy, and he has a tweet about it. He's talked about it. He's a senior fellow, Manhattan Institute. How a conservative activist invented the conflict over critical race theory. What they decided to do was to take a term, a soulful term, recodify it. In other words, redefine it, and then go against the redefinition of the phrase, like critical race theory. Another one he worked on was woke. So when we talked about woke, we just talked about being conscious. When we talked about being woke, we talked about being aware of how there are things that are working against us in our society. They recodified woke. And now when you talk to a conservative, woke means something totally different, and they're lambasting against the term woke and woke politics. There's even anti-woke bills that senators are doing out in California because they're following the conservative strategy to prevent us from having any movement by taking a phrase, recodifying it, and rallying against the recodified version.
I was going to also say that I polled the family about a week ago and asked, was Kanye a genius or an idiot? And he is rich, very wealthy, so I would have to say he's a genius as well. I just can't fathom an idiot being that successful in such a competitive market. I digress, because he's aggressive. He has all these A-type personality qualities. I said he was a genius. The family said, some people said he was an idiot, a good bit of people. But I also made a point as of yesterday. I said, Kanye's shirt says white lives matter. Your shirt says Polo, Balenciaga, Nike, Gucci. There's no difference. How you mad at him saying white lives matter and your ass got on Polo?
I'm glad you can pronounce Balenciaga, because I saw that and I was like, Balenciaga? Okay, Balenciaga. All right. You can see I don't wear the stuff. I don't, right. There is no difference. And I actually think that when it comes down to our empowerment, this means nothing. To do a master student quote, this means nothing. Because we need to stand on our square and work on empowering ourselves to take control of the economics, the politics, and the social action and the social experience of our lives. And Kanye's not going to move the needle necessarily with us. But what's interesting is I was just watching the Drink Champs interview. And in that Drink Champs interview, he was talking about a 2024 run. And he also said that America was waiting to see him go against Donald Trump. Yo, Kanye's on some stuff, man. He's on some stuff. That's why I think he's playing chess. I think he's playing chess. These type of activities, talking about his Jewish tweet, you know, his quote unquote anti-Semitic tweet. The thing about White Lives Matter and the challenge, the quote unquote challenge with that. I think he's doing a press run.
You said you wanted to share screen to find it. I was looking for my thing of Kanye talking about running for president in 2024. He said that a while ago as well. But yes. But no, I wanted to ask, did you have something you wanted to share?
I wanted to share this, man. This is the anti-Semitic. This is the second. He actually did two. So this is the second one. And this was interesting because he kind of doubled down and said, I can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. Now that's crazy.
Whoa, hold on.
Now the reason I say that's crazy is because blacks might necessarily be Hebrews. See, when we think of Jews and Hebrews, a lot of times we use the terms interchangeably, but I don't think they're interchangeable. So if we had two circles, we can have a big circle that uses the term Hebrew. And inside that big circle, we can have a smaller circle that says Jew. And that reads, all Jews are Hebrews, but not all, all Jews are Hebrews, but not all Hebrews are Jews. So the Jewish culture came out of Hebrew culture, right? Am I wrong?
No.
Okay, all right. So to say that the melanated, the black, the indigenous, the African, whatever term you want to use, pick a term, Moorish, whatever term you want to use, I rock with them all. To say that the original Hebrews were us, they've already said that's true. But the Jews, the Jewish culture, are a subset, and they may not necessarily, I'm saying not necessarily, be us in totality. Now, I might be wrong. MOI might want to pop on and drop some jewels on me, Crumb might want to drop some jewels. Peace, Fats.
Peace, speaking of popping up, peace, Fats. Can you tell the family who you are, where we can find you at? I know you jumped right in. I just want to kind of, segue you the right way.
Peace and blessings, man. It's just Fats, Culture Freedom Media, nonprofit organization, Zulu Union International Coalition, Soul Trust Records, Righteous Works Publishing. You can find me primarily right now on Fats Kirkman on Instagram and Jason Kirkman on Facebook. Right now, we're gonna be getting all our business settings and stuff taken care of in a minute, but you can find me all in the places right there for right now. Peace and blessings, man. How y'all doing? What up, fam?
Good to see the brother, man.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. I appreciate that hookup, Seiko. I'm about to send sister the invoice now for the joint, man. We're hooking her up on the 12th, yo. Appreciate you.
Get money, get resources, build, develop, pass it on. Ashe.
True indeed. Appreciate that.
Also, Fats, you are the author of the book Offstage.
Yes.
So shout out to you. We can definitely talk more about that in just a hot second.
Got my copy upstairs. I say that's the beast.
I appreciate it.
Brother Fats, I saw you posted some critical things about Kanye on Facebook. I want to bring you in. We want to talk about him. Good brother Seiko, could you share that tweet again that Kanye made? I can't believe. Do we know that's real? Is this real?
This is real.
I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on those people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball me. Anyone who ever opposes have tried to blackball anyone whoever opposes your agenda. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think that might be I don't know. Good brother Fats. What do you think?
You know, I love Kanye because he our brother. But Kanye has done a lot for me personally. Just kind of, I don't know, just kind of let go and let God, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it. You know what I mean, with brother Kanye, because I try. I mean, he's done a lot. I mean, a lot. You know what I mean? Just kind of for me to go against the grain. But then again, he'll do these things. So then he'll say some profound stuff in the middle of it, and sometimes some things he says. Because you know what I mean? I just think that he's dealing with certain mental issues that we as his community need to encourage him to address more, in my opinion. And I just think that, again, like my son has Asperger's. My son Zach has Asperger's a little bit. So once you start dealing with people who have, certain issues or whatever, you kind of can start seeing it in other people. And I think Kanye is just dealing with something that needs to be addressed psychologically. But and then at first you think all of this stuff is what they call it, shock value. Let me just kind of, you know what I mean? A lot of people, sometimes people like Kanye are not dropping music, they're doing what he's doing now. You're just kind of keeping attention to himself with these antics, I guess, and things that he says or whatever. But all eyes are on him, and I wish they weren't. There's a lot of other stuff going on, you know what I'm saying, that we need to be paying attention to. You know what I mean? When Kanye did Sway on his show, I was done. And that was eons ago. You don't do the elders like that. You know what I'm saying? So when he did Sway, and then I'm just like, So that's my take on it, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? And then the handler situation he be talking about, it's like it's a thin line with, damn, should we be, should I be concerned with the brother or should I cut the brother off? Should I be concerned for the brother because he seems to be calling out on one time, he'll say something that seems to be reaching out, and then he be real crazy on the other, on the other end or whatever. So, I love him because he a brother, but I don't know, man, to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand. Your audio, I could hear you, but you were a little bit choppy. Just want to let you know that.
All right, I mean, I can turn it up.
It sounded great to me. I think that was one of those StreamYard gremlins in the machine. It sounded good to me.
You said it sounded good. Okay, I'm not sure. It didn't sound right on my side, but nonetheless, I was gonna say this. So, Candace, because she just dropped. Well, actually, here, let me finish playing this, and then we can deal with this whole Candace thing. Because in terms of them wearing that White Lives Matter shirts, Candace Owens just dropped a documentary called Black Lives Matter Exposed. And one thing I didn't realize before I go and finish this little thing is that number one, I thought Candace was single. I thought Candace was in a relationship with Kanye. And then I was talking on part one with Seiko when he said Candace is married. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. I kind of feel sorry for the brother because Kanye, he seemed like he pushing up on your girl, dog. However, I got a chance for whatever reason to see her husband.
It's not a brother.
Candace is married to a white dude. Somebody talk black to me.
No question, yo.
No, don't get me wrong. Like the whole White Lives Matter thing, I'm there. I get it. But if you married to a white dude, it feel a little funny to me for you to be making like, I don't know. I don't know. Brothers, somebody, please.
I tell you, the thing that I think is interesting about Candace is she's on code for her team. And her team are conservative Republicans. And she does everything that support. Look, this documentary is not going to help us. This documentary is not necessarily going to help America. This documentary is definitely going to help Team Candace, the conservative Republican team. And so I can't front, man. She kind of fly to me. But you know what's interesting? Okay. All right. So it's just me. What's interesting is Candace is team anything but us, but she keeps saying us, that we're the most disrespected group. And then she says stuff that's it. Okay. Back when she was 17, I think, she was threatened by 3 white guys while she was in high school.
Yeah, and the NAACP looked out for her on that joint.
NAACP stepped up for her.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I pulled a picture. I got that beautiful bean footage around here somewhere. I'll pull it up.
Blew my mind when I heard that. When I found that out, I was like, wow. Wow. Yeah.
Hey, all of y'all is number 2? Because that's what she's doing to us.
Yeah.
She's stunning us, man. But in the whole scheme of things, it doesn't matter. If we stay on our code, if we stay on our square, like you said, Crumb, means nothing.
I'd like to challenge that, because I believe that Hitler proved that point wrong.
Ooh.
Media. The use of media to sway the people is called what? Propaganda. When they use the media to sell ideas, your shirt, that's media. I think like this one white dude charged some company, one of these Silicon Valley companies, and they tatted their logo on his forehead, and it was just, media. So even with fashion, it's a form of media. It's a form of saying something, because people use fashion to express themselves in different ways and communicate thoughts. Remember back in the day, those MAGA hats? Mm-hmm. Nobody said it means nothing. Your ass wore a MAGA hat, you might get into a fight. It means everything.
Okay. Now, people's response, I didn't take that into consideration, so I'm going to retract my statement. I'm publicly saying, Crumb, I say that. I think you're right. I'm retracting my statement. And when we go back and forth in the areas where we disagree, I don't do that too often. All right, I'll retract that.
So, Kanye, arguably, we know he married a white girl as well,
right?
And that song he made was prophetic, where he said the lines, you stay strong and you stay right, girl, because when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. And then you go and marry, that girl with that fake butt. And let me say this, just to kind of not throw her under the bus. I don't know if...
I'm sorry, I couldn't wait. I'm
sorry, but yeah. So when Kanye was running around town begging people for money, saying, "Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, some of y'all front me some money." Nobody fronted Kanye that money. You know who fronted Kanye that money when he was going around asking? Back when you ain't got all the answers, Sway. He was trying to get money at that particular time. You know who gave him that money?
Who?
Kim Kardashian loaned Kanye the money to get to the next level. Here's how much money is at stake. How Kim and Kanye West spent years. Hold on. Kim Kardashian gave Kanye $1 million.
$1 million.
Okay. Did Kim just bail Kanye out of 53 million? Remember when Kanye's a billionaire, Kanye's a cajillionaire, fine. But never forget, Kanye was in the hole 53. Back when he said you ain't got all the answers, Sway, Kanye was 53 million in the hole. Who bailed him out?
He was talking that get a check and make it right back, and he ain't get it back, obviously. I know he didn't do that song, but all right, the joke didn't work. I tried.
Well, yeah, she gave him the money. He got out of debt, and you know, I think in a sense, it's kind of like that that girl got the income tax money, and yo, give me the, you know, I'm gonna flip it, you know, and we make the joke that he never flips it. He kind of blows it every single income tax season. However, Kanye got this girl income tax money. He flipped it. Now he's singing the billionaire thing. I can't be so mad at because remember, he was asking Mark Zuckerberg, yo, Mark, give me the money, I'm good for it. And I was like, yo, Kanye, why are you going in public asking everybody for money? But
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I'm like, it was just weird to me. I don't know, because you know, I got too much pride to be asking people for daggone money. Screw it, I'm gonna go to McDonald's. Worse for the worse. I don't know, but yeah, she was the one who gave him the money. Now he's a billion. He couldn't have got to that level without her, and that's me kind of making it balance. But still, I don't rock with her. But you know, in this whole White Lives Matter thing, him and Candace Owens, it just don't feel right because both of them was married to Tamahu. They were married to Flugelrod, Troglodyte. So you know, when they say White Lives Matter, it hit different for them. You know,
can you hold that right there?
Somebody said that in a post. You know, at least with Kanye, they're saying, you know, I guess his children or North or whatever, you know, is half white, so it would kind of make sense for him to put that up there. But I think everybody understands, because we were discussing this at work. I think everybody understands really at the same time. Ain't nobody crazy, and everybody understands the context of what's really good, because everybody understands Candace's campaign, like you was explaining earlier. So for her, it's just like when Kanye wore the Confederacy. People forget stuff. Kanye done wore Confederate flags on jackets. Kanye done wore the make, you know, what do you say? Donald Trump makes me feel whole again. You know, the crazy stuff he be saying or whatever. So again, you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, I ain't necessarily out. You know, I will never marry outside. The black woman is the greatest creation God ever, you know, the black for me. So, but as far as, I guess, you know, them feeling like White Lives Matter is because they, like you said, as far as it is deeper than the whole conservative thing you was talking about as far as the politician thing, man. We're talking about some people who made conscious decisions to really
align themselves.
Yeah, and then go against they made a conscious choice, in my personal opinion, to go against their whole people culturally, which is at the end of the day, that's what I'm all about. The cultural aspect of things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I just feel like this, you know, I think this was whack. And then I have children. You know what I mean? And so it's like I'm homeschooling, so you're trying to teach your children that black people are people and this, and so, and then this kind of stuff pops up. See, people don't be considering, nobody think about the children and how the children are watching us and all of us and all of this. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? I'm like I said, I'm over the Kanye thing, man. I want better brothers to represent Kanye, because I'm surprised brothers mess with any Kardashian after Reggie Bush. So Reggie Bush and Lamar Odom should have put everybody deep. That's why I know something wrong with Kanye to mess with her or any of them after Lamar and Reggie. But you know, again,
I was gonna say, you think the Kardashians got the Erykah Baduism?
No, I wouldn't put them in that same class. Erykah Badu, that's Queen Mother. I wouldn't put them in the same class or whatever. Erykah Badu, you know, the science is kind of what you mean. I understand the science is what Erykah dealing with, but that ain't what Kim and them dealing with. You know what I mean? Kim and them on some other. You know what I mean? I mean, Kanye has mentioned she's my handler or whatever, but I appreciate Crumb dropping that knowledge of being in debt. I ain't know she gave him bread like that to get him out of a situation that I didn't even really know he was in. Because where in this does he have that choir on the plane bragging to everybody that he got a tax return of $53 million? That was her giving him that money? Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah. What happened was Kim had sold something to get that money. She sold like one of her most valuable assets.
Okay.
So whatever the most valuable thing that she had, I mean, you can Google what it is she sold. It's on. I don't remember what she sold, but she
like
sold
some rights or some shit like that. Maybe.
Yeah, something like that, a cartoon or a movie or.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I just saw. I mean, the news flash that you shared described how she cashed an $80 million check.
Right.
For a video game. Something.
A video game. Okay.
A video game appearance. and she provided him with 53 million of that 80 million.
Right.
Wow.
It was the proverbial income tax season. You know, she cashed that check, and he got a certain amount of that, bought a quarter pound of weed, and got high off his own supply. Not saying Kanye did that, but that's how we do in the hood. We've seen Friday, Smokey, Big Worm gonna get you for smoking that. You're supposed to be selling that weed. But anyway, no, Kanye actually flipped his little whatever, and now he's a billionaire. So, no harm, no foul. What I'm saying ultimately, I'm sorry. No, I'm saying that is what it is. I was going to say that I had this video. I wanted to play a little bit more of that. We only got 2 minutes in. What do you say, brothers?
Hey, run that beautiful bean footage.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
Let me switch the audio real quick.
Fats in the house, man. This is an honor, brother.
The feelings mutual, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do, man.
I would say peace, Aki, but I don't know if that even works anymore.
We still say it in the union or whatever, but I've been encouraging them to kind of change a lot of things from the old. You know what I mean? But you know how that goes.
Here we go, brother.
At this point, 50% of black death in America is abortion. I really don't care about people's mouth drive or one, and that's God.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet. When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office, and I liked him. Yes. And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to my so-called friends / handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I like Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, okay, green light me then. God builds warriors in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that, he made me for such a time like this. It's like with David, he tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, he thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter t-shirt that you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. As if you ask, like, Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin, she was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like, it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles, and we are in a battle with the media. Like, the majority of the media has a godless agenda, and their jokes in that work, and this whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy, and all these things, they don't work because the media has, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically to me.
and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening. And they stayed quiet about it. What if they? I want to answer the white. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Hardin about the White Lives Matter. You know, my dad is an educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me that said White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha. And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said, Dad, what do you think was funny? He said, just a Black man stating the obvious.
The reason he did the White Lives Matter thing is because he was stating the obvious. I don't know. What do you think? Is that the obvious?
His father said that.
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's what he's going with. I mean, from what I've heard a little bit.
So Daddy gave him a great excuse. Okay, I see that. I
don't believe none of it, man. The more I watch him, I don't know, man. It's something else going on with all this in him or whatever. I just feel like he's being used, yo. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, he said, he had 2023 and 2024 on his hats. And he said that he was using it because something big was going to happen in 2024. And then he talked about, possibly running for president. That something else is amiss.
Yeah, he's and it's interesting you brought that up because he's mentioned running for president before. You know what I mean?
He actually ran.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And so, again, maybe that's what we're looking at, him actually being a Republican candidate. You know what I mean? Because again, it's all about our vote. It's all about, all that old stuff or whatever, in my opinion. That could be what we're looking at or whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's kind of what I said in the last show, White Lives Matter Part 1, that I think that Kanye is doing a press run. I think now, mental health issues, possibly. Ideas of grandiosity, possibly. Strategery, possibly. Can it be all three of them mixed up? He's a great person that mixes various elements. When he chops up a song and makes it even funkier than the original, what he's doing is taking pieces from here, pieces from there, and putting it all together. Me thinks that he's working on something big, and it might be the presidential run. It might be a new line dropping. Could be a new media company.
I know, really. I'm glad you called me up here because it's really making me go there now. Thank you. Thanks again, Crumb, for considering me. Yeah, because again, starting with the whole Kim. See, I did not know the Kim thing. That's a puzzle piece I didn't know before today. So Kim loaning him the $53 million and him calling her his handler is crucial. He said it in that last interview, so-called handlers or whatever. That's what he called all people around him or whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think something is he might be getting handled or whatever. You know what I mean? But I just know that they know that he doesn't have he's not tactful in what he has to say on either side of his opinions, which could sway from one side to the other. You know what I mean? On any given interview or whatever. You know what I mean? And then he'll say things like you said earlier about being profound or whatever. Part Cypher Crumb, what was you going to say?
No, I think for him not being tactful is why we love him, because this tactfulness respectively is censorship, where nobody is going to say what he says because they're going to risk losing their career. Remember, he was the one who said George Bush don't care about Black people after Hurricane Katrina and the very slow response during a national emergency from the White House.
And I think I see what you're going with that. And I think my personal opinion on all of that is because I think that he's either signed some sort of pact or contract with some sort of maybe entity or whatever, which is why I don't feel like I feel like he knows that there's going to be no repercussions for what he's saying because he's supposed to be saying it. He's supposed to be doing what he's supposed to be doing for whoever, to me, for shock value, all of it, because it's too balanced. He does say dope stuff, like I was saying earlier. He does say profound stuff, but it's balanced with the red hat It's balanced with the White Lives Matter shirt. So what I'm saying is the tactlessness again is about us, man, and our culture and our people. That's why I feel like he's tactless at. But I feel like that because the more we talk, yeah, man, the more I feel like he's being he knows, like you're right. Can't nobody else say what he gonna say because there will be repercussions. He knows there won't be none for what he's doing because he's doing something for somebody. You know what I mean? To me, that's my opinion. I can't say, cool, I ain't bringing no conspiracy theories. I'm not coming up with no organizations or none of that. My theory is that he is doing this based on working or doing something for some entity or whatever. That's why he's doing all this stuff. Because again, it's making us, what is it doing to his people? It's drawing us apart. So some of us like, oh, he's profound. Some of us like he's crazy. It's working. It's anything that media, you said it earlier. This is being used to draw us apart, like everything else. My opinion, my theory.
Okay, let me just play this short. I think it's less than 59 seconds. Let's see what he says.
Run for president 2024, we want to definitely know what y'all laughing at.
He was serious as a heart attack on Stroke Street.
Yeah, I know.
He was serious as a heart attack on Stroke Street. The family tried to laugh that off. He's like, what are you laughing at? You know, so this was the first time I heard him say that he was going to run for president, and they kind of laughed him off. I totally get it. However, I'm taking this seriously personally. I think he's going for more than just shock value. I think he's trying to make a real change. I think when we talk about someone who is going to speak candidly from their heart, somebody who's going to speak, even though there's going to be, ramifications for these things, that's going to be your Kanye. He's going to be the maverick you've been looking for. He's going to be what we all wanted Obama to be. He's going to push the limits. I think, he's also going to appeal to white people because he did, do what he needed to do to get into the realm. And to get to that certain level, you got to marry a white person. That's why all the big black political figures have their counterparts are white, from Kamala Harris, Ketanji Brown, Candace Owens, Kanye West.
You don't have to go any further, bro.
Clarence Thomas.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We all know what these people got to do to get to that next level, or certain sacrifices that they got to make. No question.
Oh, can I share something else really quickly?
Please.
Woo! It's something else that you got to do. And it looks like he's doing it. So I listened to part of the Drink Champs interview, but in accordance with what the conservative Republicans were pushing on Fox, he said that George Floyd did not die because of over-policing or abuse of power. He died because of fentanyl. And I heard him say that on that interview, which it did drop 6 hours ago. And he also said some really interesting things about how the Jews, quote unquote Jews, have all the power and are the gatekeepers in American society. And he said
everybody know that.
It's just kind of interesting that he's doing that, particularly if he's looking for a presidential run, because is he doing the same thing that President Trump did?
I mean, it's all shot. I mean, so what is this, the Republican Party that he's prepping for, or is it his own party or Republican Party?
No, I think he's going to run Republican.
Last time he ran as an independent, so he might.
Oh, okay. Well, he might run independent. I think he's going to try to run Republican and directly oppose Trump.
I don't think Biden Trump's going to get a second chance.
You said what?
I don't think he's going to get a second chance.
What are you talking about? You don't. What do you mean?
He intends on Trump does intend on running again, correct?
He does. His intention and what happens, because there are some things that can happen with this subpoena. No, not the subpoena. With this, I can't think of the political word for it, but if this political action goes through, it will prevent him from seeking election again, and I think that's going to happen.
But nothing that he's done so far has prevented him from seeking election again.
Well, okay. I said seeking election. I'm saying there's certain things that if you get, oh man, I can't think of the word, impeached. No, it's not impeached. All right, you know what? We'll see. We'll see. I have to admit, when President Trump first announced that he was running for office, I was kind of excited because I was a Trump fan. But the longer that I listened to him, the less excited I became. All right, so
no, I think he has the family on fire. I gotta 100% admit that. But let me continue, and I wanted to rebuttal that fentanyl thing. Check this out.
New documents filed in the George Floyd case give new information about the medical examiner's findings in Floyd's autopsy. Handwritten notes of a law enforcement interview with Dr. Andrew Baker, the Hennepin County medical examiner, say Floyd had 11 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl in his system. Quote, if he were found dead at home alone and no other apparent causes, this could be acceptable to call an OD. Deaths have been certified with levels of 3. In another new document, Baker says that is a fatal level of fentanyl under normal circumstances. But then Baker added, I am not saying this killed him. Defense attorneys for the officers have signaled they will argue Floyd died from the drugs and pre-existing health conditions. The new documents say Floyd had a heavy heart and at least one artery was approximately 75% blocked. Dr. Stephen Nelson, chairman of Florida's Medical Examiners Commission, who's not affiliated with the case, reviewed the new files and says that doesn't mean the drugs or health condition is what caused Floyd's death.
We've all had cases where those kinds of levels come into play. And again, you've got to look at the whole picture. It's one thing to die with something. It's another thing to die from something.
I think he poetically summed it up. I'm not saying he didn't have fentanyl in the system. Hey, it's probably 100% chance. I don't know, but I'm saying it's probably 100% chance he had fentanyl in his system. However, I stand, no pun intended because of the picture, I still strongly believe he died because that man's knee was on his neck. And Kanye said the knee was not on his neck. And I'm backing Kanye. I think he's a genius. He's a maverick. He marches to the beat of his own drum, so on and so forth. But this is where Kanye and I break ties because and he's wearing the White Lives Matter shirt, and he married like a Khazar. I don't know. It just kind of, this is where it just really falls apart for me. What say ye, brothers?
Look, rising power to the ancestor, DJ Law. You remember DJ Law, Big Brother? I'm gonna tell you the first time I ever started looking at Kanye funny. I didn't like, all right, I don't deal with it no more. But this was the first time. This was a very long time ago. I was on my way to work. I was going to work late, and Voodoo Brothers had the morning show. So Kanye had did a show at the Hampton Coliseum the night before. I didn't go or whatever. But Law was kind of, he was there and he was talking about what it went down. And Law was like, then Law said, I don't mess with Kanye no more. That was the title of his show. So I was like, whoa, what did he do? So basically, to make a long story short, he asked the whole crowd to stand up. And Kanye be doing great stuff like this at his show. So he be asking everybody to stand up. So everybody stood up. So his one sister, she didn't stand up. He said, I'm not doing another song till this bitch right here stand up. Kind of find out she had a broke leg. She was in a wheelchair. She had a broke leg. You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, yo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't know, man. And another pattern that I've noticed, like you saying him being a maverick and all that. And I agree. You know what I mean? I agree. I definitely understand how younger people can look at him as a champion for them, especially in these days and times. Younger people allow a lot more to happen in our relations with white people than we did in the past. For instance, we were just talking about this at work about 2 weeks ago. A lot of younger brothers don't mind white people saying nigga around them or calling them and all that kind of stuff. We didn't do that back in the day. Kind of like what's my man Academics that said that stuff about the old school hip hop cats being dusty. In some ways I kind of understand it, but in other ways you got to understand what it was going through, man. The dynamic was different then than it is now. And so I just think that I can understand people championing for him, but me, because of my age and who I am, I'm an MC, so I'm not as impressed with Kanye as an MC as an average person would be as a fan. You know what I mean? I think Kanye is average, if that, as an MC. He's one of the dopest producers I've ever heard, though. I'm not going to front on anything. Kanye is a very dope producer, but he has just done enough off stage, and that's the title of my book, which has influenced me a lot in my own new personal life and my look as a hip hop MC, as a person in hip hop culture. You know what I mean? He's just done enough, starting with that, to just kind of like, I'm like, you know what I mean? His morals ain't enough for me. And then I'm not into politics at all. So if he's running for the president or whatever, I'm not into any of that, like talking about it anyway. I'm all about self-sufficiency. I'm back to what we need to be doing as a people, because we can do more for our people, in my personal opinion, than politics can. While we asking politicians that don't get down with us, so we know that to do stuff for us, we could be doing it all for ourselves. But I just think that Kanye is another way to keep blacks voting. You know what I mean? Because there's always a time where we as blacks or whatever, or African Americans or whatever people, you know, are nowadays or whatever, get it in, and they when the politics times come, it's time to weigh where we gonna vote, you know, who gonna win based on our vote, especially after the Obama campaign. So now I think that's what this is. The more we talk, the more I realize all this is just I don't know, man. I realize all this is just, you're right. It's like a campaign, man. There's something going on or whatever. You know what I mean? Because again, I understand that I'm not mad at people. I don't do Kanye like at all as a person, so I don't do his music. Then in that very same interview you was trying to pull up, I was only using Talib Kweli and them, they backpackers. I was only using them to get on. Kanye be saying some wild, foul stuff, yo. And I think he be really meaning it too. I'm like, man, you know, and the pattern is, it's always against us. You know, yes. Whites don't worry about Kanye. Like you said, they all for him. He's always against us. I'm done. I'm over that, yo. I'm over that, yo.
They're all for the tools that support their agenda.
Yeah.
Kanye he's speaking. It's like he's taking, like, let me show you this. Here I go. I gotta do it. All right. So, conservatives like Tucker Carlson, and Candace Owens, keep claiming George Floyd wasn't killed by police. This was March 12, 2021, right? So this is nothing new. They're not saying nothing new. They're not saying nothing new. And so Kanye is not saying anything new. Candace's new documentary, nothing new. They're taking situations we see, flipping them, and saying it's something else, and fighting against that something else, which is that conservative strategy I was talking about. In addition to taking phrases and recodifying them, they're taking experiences and recodifying them, and then rallying against them. And those of us, like Kanye, who want to ascend to the level, will do the things that will get him to that level. So he's reading the talking points. He's regurgitating the statements. He's wearing the fashion.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, here, gentlemen, we have less than 4 minutes. Within the next 30 seconds, if you could, really quickly, good brother Seiko, tell the family who you are, where we can find you at.
Hey, good. Seiko Varner. You can find me at Seiko Varner on IG, on Facebook, and you can also check out my team, the Community Action Team. What we do is we get together and we put together tools that will help our community to demand from the seated elected officials the things that we want. And my whole team has come up with a whole bunch of tools. We want it to spread nationwide. So look up the Community Action Team on Facebook, but you can find me on IG. You can find me on Facebook. And most importantly, you can find me on Fanbase. I didn't say OnlyFans. I said fan base. I had to make that point.